It is already one of the most dangerous shipping lanes in the world, and yet it only gets deadlier for the human cargo being smuggled between shores. Tonight, the biggest loss of life in the Channel for nearly 3 years is sorely testing Sir Keir Starmer's pre-election promise to smash the criminal gangs behind the crossings. The latest overloaded rubber dinghy to sink on its way to Britain had around 70 people on board. At least 12 of those, including, we understand, 6 children, died after the boat ripped apart. 2 months into its term, the new government said vital efforts to dismantle the gangs must proceed apace. But how many more warnings are needed that the speed of action is no match for the ever more callous criminals?
In these waters north of Boulogne this morning, a small boat packed with around 70 people, men, women and children, set off to cross the channel. But not long into their journey, the large rubber dinghy broke apart. 8 had life jackets on. It is the single deadliest small boat tragedy so far this year. A major operation swung into place. At least 12 people lost their lives. 6 of them were children. In total, 10 of the 12 who died were female, including a pregnant woman. One local charity believes there may have been more people on board.
This morning, our volunteers met 4 people who had jumped off a boat because it was in poor condition and swam back to shore. If it was that boat that they jumped from, it saved their lives.
The French Interior Minister visited the centre, coordinating the rescue effort.
The smugglers, often of foreign origin, are paid a lot of money to be able to smuggle people to Great Britain. They are responsible. They are criminals.
Inside this hospital, some of the 53 people rescued are receiving treatment. 2 are in a critical condition. These pictures reflect the changing reality over recent years. This is 2021, when the boats were full, but this is April this year. The same flimsy boats, now overflowing at the seams.
It seems to be getting deadlier, and I think we know why, because the smugglers are cramming more and more people into these boats. And it may be that the smugglers are putting these boats on shores that are less well policed, but further from the UK, making the journey longer and more dangerous.
The rescue and recovery operation has continued throughout the day. As more details emerge about those packed on board this small boat, the horror which unfolded at sea has become clear too. On these tranquil seas today, the small boat crossings claimed their latest victims. How many more will follow, attempting this most perilous of journeys? Neil Connery, News at 10, Le Portel, France.
Well, the number of migrants who died today, 12, is the same as the total for the whole of last year. So can Labour's new spirit of cooperation with the French start bringing those figures down? Well, Shihab is here to take us through them. Shihab.
Well, Paul, for a long time, small boat crossings have been one of the major talking points in our politics, and the stats are alarming to say the least. In 2022 as a whole, more than 45,000 people came to the UK in small boats. Last year that number dropped, but was still high at just under 30,000 people. While this year, so far, as of the 2nd of September, 21,400 people have crossed the Channel in this way, and it appears that 2024 is on track to be higher than in 2023. The biggest concern is how unsafe the journey is. 42 people are thought to have died already this year. That's the highest figure for any year since 2021, and there's still more than 3 months to go before the year comes to an end. So, what is the government going to do about it? They say they want to dismantle the people smuggling gangs, and this is what they've done so far. The government has scrapped the Rwanda deportation scheme, calling it a gimmick. Before the election, they pledged to replace it, but they haven't told us with what exactly. They've also promised 100 new intelligence officers to target gangs and £84 million for projects in Africa and the Middle East to stop illegal migration at source. Keir Starmer has spoken to his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, about this, and both agree there's no silver bullet solution. But the Prime Minister says he wants to reset the relationship between France and the UK, to have better cooperation with French authorities to intercept gangs on French shores. But it's not yet clear what exactly that means in practical terms. Tonight, the French Interior Minister has said both countries need to have the same immigration legislation to work together, which he claimed the previous Tory government didn't want. It's unclear whether the government will do that, but given that in the 2 months since Labour took office, more than 7,000 migrants have crossed the Channel, Paul, the pressure is on the government to come up with a solution, and quickly.
Absolutely, Shihab. Thank you very much. And let's return to the realities now of migration policy on the ground, and return to northern France this evening, where Neil is on the French coast. And Neil, what more are we learning tonight about the people on this boat?
Well, Paul, we understand that many of the 12 people who lost their lives were of Eritrean origin. Their nationalities, though, have yet to be confirmed by the French authorities. What has been clear today, Paul, has been that the French have thrown everything at this in terms of French Navy vessels, coast guards, helicopters in the skies, scouring these seas hour after hour, trying to do everything that they could. I think despite the fact that the sea temperatures are actually at their highest for the year right now, the fact is this is now 14 hours on since this disaster took place, and I think hopes of finding survivors seems increasingly remote. What has happened today has been a reminder, if anyone needed, of the desperation of these people willing to risk their lives to take this journey, and of the criminal gangs who exploit them as well. Listening to the statistics and figures, they're clearly crucial, but I think it's easy to lose sight of the people. And today, of these 12 people who lost their lives, 6 of them were children. They included a pregnant woman. I think the urgency to finding solutions to this crisis on both sides of the Channel tonight could not be any clearer.
OK, Neil, from northern France, thank you very much.